host for today's event is Mr. Wojciech Ostrowski, Vice President of the Management Board and CFO of the company. My name is Przemek Wasilewski, I'm Head of Investor Relations. Before we start usual technical information, we are sitting here in front of a group of domestic analysts and investors, but the event is transmitted via internet worldwide as well. After a short presentation of ourselves, there will be Q&A session. If you are on site, that's easy, you raise your hand and ask question, then we answer, hopefully. If you are sitting in front of your monitor, please send us question via email, pgresults@gkpge.pl, or much more simpler via form on a page with webcast. Mr. President.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to kindly welcome on our premises those of you are here with us and the same who join us online. And early morning we published the PGE Q1 results, and we are here to give you some more information and try to answer for your question. And on the slide number 2, you see some our key achievements. We can say that it was very good result, the good period for PGE. In fact, it was the best quarter in our history. As the not so long, but still some years history of PGE. We see some increase in revenues, 9%. But what for us is very important, that this increase was in all our chain. It means that it was the increase of the production volumes, the same the wholesale as distribution and retail sales. The same in part of prices, the same we achieved the better prices in whole chain from wholesale to final customers. And thanks to the situation and the same this new Bełchatów block, we achieved the better EBITDA, almost 20% than last year, 2.5 billion. And I think that this is the same connected with some cost control. We can't say that it was some cost decrease in comparison to last year because of the increase of the coal prices and the remuneration in our group, but they are under control and are this increase is extremely lower than increase in incomes. Result was impacted by one-offs. One of them, this is the positive. We reversed part of the LTCs. At the end of the 2011, it is Gorzów CHP and Turów power plant. It had the result 130 million positive to started this efficiency program, which we announced in January. And part of this program, it was the voluntary leave programs, and we spent for this, and made the reserves on the amount 92 million Polish zloty, 77 in generation and 15 in distribution. And based on this, the recurring EBITDA increased 24% from 1.9 to 2.4 billion. As I mentioned, the quite big impact for this had this new Bełchatów unit. We are continuing the investment program. Firstly, we are retrofitting the unit number 7 in Bełchatów, and in June we will start with the unit number 8. As you know, we signed the agreement for the Opole investment. It's 2 blocks, 5 and 6. The same, we are continuing the process of the investment in cogeneration units and Turów in our power plant in Turów. And more details you can find in the backup slides. And additionally, the same in Q3, we will commission these two renewables, which we started maybe to bought last year in Pelplin and Żuromin. That it should start to work in Q3. And last but not least, yesterday the court gave us the verdict regarding Energa. Our appeal was dismissed, and decision prohibiting Energa takeover is still valid. And we are waiting for written argumentation on this verdict, which we expect to achieve roughly in three weeks. And later on we will see what we will do with this deal. And on the slide number 3, you can see some economic environment which we are operating, and you can see some decrease on the hard coal prices, but this is some situation, as we said some times ago, when the hard coal prices increased in all of the world. In Poland we have the stable prices. This moment when the worldwide is some decrease of the hard coal prices, in Poland it was increased in fourth quarter and is keeping for this year. And that Polish market is a little bit different than worldwide. Therefore, I mentioned at the beginning that we have some small increase of the cost of hard coal. From other side, this increase is covered fully by decrease of the CO2 allowances, which can give us the opportunity to achieve better margins than it was 1 year ago. You see some big decrease of the base prices. We can say that today they are slightly better, close to 190, not 180 as it was in Q1. Peak is roughly on the same level as last year, and we see the some increase in forwards, which is in reality main market for such company as PGE. Next slide, you see some confirmation what I mentioned at the beginning. The biggest increase of the production was in lignite, connected with this block, the unit number 14, but the same the number 5 and 6, which were retrofitted finally in 2011. Some decrease in hard coal production, mostly in ZEDO. Coal-fired CHPs decrease, but in reality it's not decrease because we switched from coal to biomass in Szczecin, one of the units, and you see this biomass-fired CHP, which when we add both lines, that we have some increase in this. Gas-fired almost on the same level as last year. Totally production 10% higher than 2011. Renewables over 30% increase, but this is the biomass what I mentioned regarding the Szczecin biomass unit. On slide number 5, you see that domestic electricity production increased just 0.5%. Our 10, it means that something happened for other producers. Domestic electricity consumption increased 1.6%, which we can say that we see some import to Poland. Mostly this import was from Sweden. In the beginning of the year, mostly the end of February and March, it was some big imports from Sweden to Poland. But as you see, our group, the generation, much more higher increase. The sales to end users 7% in comparison to 1.6% increase in Poland, and the same distribution volume 2% increase, which in reality can give us some short information that, because as you know, we are in the part of Poland where is no big industry, that this increase in distribution is showing that somewhere was some decrease of the industrial production. It means industrial consumption of energy. Slide number 6. This is some comparison of the revenues, is EBITDA and net profit. But we said some words about it. And what the same is important for our shareholders, and probably you are the same, some of them, that the earning per share increased from 0.64 to 0.82. It means that over 25% increase. I think that it is quite good results for PGE. On the slide number 7, much more detailed information about the financials. I think that the EBITDA we mentioned, but what is important, the EBITDA margin that we achieved 32%, but recurring when we look to the some double sales via stock exchange, we achieved 39% in comparison to 35 last year. And what the same important for us from the investment program, that we have this moment, we are cash positive, net debt to EBITDA is minus 0.7. And last slide, you see the composition of the recurring EBITDA. As usually, the biggest impact, the conventional. Second place, the distribution over 500 million. I think that this is the first quarter in the history of our distribution where they achieved the EBITDA over 500 million. And the same, slightly better results in wholesale and renewables, and all the same level of in retail. And what I mentioned at the beginning, for us results are very good and very important, but much more important is that these results are based on our real situation. It's not any big one of some issue which are something different than our normal daily operational, and it means that better volumes, better prices, and some cost control. We see the results in our financial statement. Thank you very much, and I will give the voice to Przemek.
Okay, thank you. So now it's time for Q&A session. As usually, we give credit to people who make effort and come to see us in person. So right to ask a question for people on site.
I thought that might be no question.
The only question is, what is the amount of provision write-ups expected for quarter 2? Or phrasing it in other words, what is the most expected next outcome of court verdict, or what is the amount over which the court will be deciding? I mean LTCs.
As I know, the next probably it will be the Opole power plant issue related to 2008 still. We don't know this moment the date of this. We don't have the information from the court up to date. And we are talking, as I remember, about a month between 100 to 200 million. But at this moment, we can answer later on about detail. But this is this value roughly. And later on, we will have 2009 and 10. But based on the decision which we achieved up to date, we are not we can't say that we are sure that we will win or lose. But this moment we can say that is 3-1.
Tomasz Krokowski, Deutsche Bank. A couple of questions, if I may. The first one refers to the pricing, and your average electricity price in the first quarter was at 205. And given the fact that there's some pressure on the market, both in terms of spot and also on the forwards in the short-term periods, would you expect your pricing in the remainder of the year to be under pressure? You think it's going to be below these 205?
I think that it could be under pressure, but the biggest part of this, the sales and production was sold for this year, that this difference shouldn't be significant. Because the spot is just for covering some gaps which weren't covered by forwards, the earliest transactions. That it shouldn't have big impact for this year, but much more important are the forward quotation for the 2013.
And have you already started contracting next year?
We can say that yes, that we started, but we are not giving the information how much and where we are, because this could be too good information for the rest of the market.
And when it comes to your approach, when you set a forward next year, at the same time, do you hedge carbon or not?
Yes, this maybe we shouldn't say that the same time. It means not the same days, but we are trying in some weeks to cover the gaps of carbons.
And next question refers to those restructuring charges. I mean, in the first quarter there was more than 90 million related to the redundancy program. How many people agreed to leave the company, and what would you expect for the remainder of the year, and what the total cost could be?
I think that we will give the much more detailed information regarding this program after the second quarter. This moment we didn't announce yet these programs because they are still open, and therefore I don't want to say about figures of people. We are talking about hundreds, and hundreds between 400 to 700, yeah, for this year. But still is open, and we are waiting for the closure of these programs. These reserves and spendings were done based on the information roughly 1-2 weeks ago, when we finalized the financial statement, which we were sure that these people will go out.
So you think each quarter we are likely to see the similar figure, 90 million of?
I don't think so. It will be probably next time some bigger should be in third quarter.
And my last question refers to Energa. Do I understand it correctly that in 3 weeks you received the written verdict of the court, and only after that you have 2 weeks to make final decision? So approximately in 5 weeks we will only know whether you are going to appeal or not. Is that correct?
Yes.
Providing that court will give written explanation
during this
2
3
weeks'
weeks
time.
expectation.
Lawyers say that this is not very often occurrence.
We still are waiting for the court argumentation for this Rzeszów, the ruling which we lost. Yeah, that we didn't get still the written verdict.
If I may ask a question from our distant viewers, it's in subject of Energa. Providing that we will not make this deal happen, what are your thoughts on the excess of net cash position in terms of dividends, share buybacks, or any other potential acquisitions?
I think that we will consider the situation in the nearest weeks, as we mentioned just before, and we will try to use this money as good as possible. But this moment is difficult to say. We would like, obviously, to use this money for investment. From other side, we the same said about the quite big dividends, 2.5 billion for this year, and we will see. But I think that this is the same. The question about this decision, if we are going to appeal or we are trying to find different way.
Robert Mayer from BBC. Could you provide some color on the Opole investments? Right now, you lack the permission, environmental permission, and you try to obtain the new one. What is the schedule on this investment, and whether any significant outlays are to be paid this year?
For this year, we've just paid the part which we should do, and we don't expect any payments this year. The next part of the prepayments will be when we will start the investment. It means probably the end of first, beginning of second quarter next year. And we are preparing the all documentation for this environmental permission. But at the same time, we are we put the documentation to the High Court and waiting for some date for first hearing of this issue. And therefore, still we can say that this permission which we got is valid. But I think that the High Court decision, if it will be in the nearest month, that we will wait for this. If not, we will put the new documentation, and probably we will need for this roughly 7-8 months. It means that, in our opinion, we should get it beginning of the next year.
Do you still look for another investor on this project? And you mentioned earlier that you want to keep 51% in this. What's the status right now?
This moment, yes, we are keeping our words, but we stopped slightly some discussion because of this environmental permission. That we are waiting for getting this. And after getting, we will return much more deeper to discussion regarding this 50% of Opole, because today probably the discussion could be slightly much more difficult.
And last question regarding capex this year, what would be your guidance like for the full year after the first quarter?
I think that we are keeping what we mentioned at the beginning of the year, that we will try to be close to 2010. It means close to 5 billion.
Maybe another chance for the internet viewers. Question from Patrick Hummel of UBS. What are the next milestones for the nuclear plan over the coming months, and do you have any indication about the potential support from the government in terms of regulated prices or similar?
Regarding milestones in the nearest month, I think that maybe in 2 months we will announce the tender for technology and EPC. Till the end of the year, we should finalize the tender for our technical advisor, and this moment we are finalizing the tender for the advisor for the localization verification, and they should start in third quarter their job. And regarding the support from government, we are still in discussion, and it's no any news still about this support.
Piotr Dzięciołowski from Credit Suisse. I have a few questions. One, coming back to Opole, can you please explain me what's the logic behind selling this plant? You have so much cash to invest, you struggle to find opportunities to invest, and suddenly you decide to sell half of it. If it's NPV positive project, you should, in my view, take all of it and just deliver it, looking at your balance sheet position. Or if it's NPV negative project, you should cancel it at all. So that would be my first question. And second, can you please take me through from current annual level of EBITDA to your guidance for 2015, how you're going to get to 10 billion EBITDA, which you communicated at the strategy. And finally, can you please explain this 205? Does it assume any form of a shape over the baseload price, or how should we see it, let's say, compared to the 2013 forwards, we traded around 211 zloty. Does it mean your realized price will come above this, and what would be the incremental of it?
Okay, first this Opole, I think that I explained some times ago, but I will try to do this once again. That regarding Opole, it is the positive NPV and the same IRR higher than the cost of capital. But the same, we are prepared this model which we mentioned, and we see that not all ideas of the Polish producers, or maybe the same new players who would like to build new blocks, can be positive for whole market. Therefore, we said that in our opinion 3-4 blocks are okay. Much more can destroy a little bit the rest of the market. Obviously, they will destroy themselves much more than us, but us as well, a little bit. And therefore, when we said that, in our opinion, in Poland, we should build new 3-4 blocks, the coal blocks, we made second step, that we said, if somebody would like to join us and not build the new block, we are open for this. That this is something that we would like to say to the market, that we don't want to build 50% of the, as I can say, the good investments, but we can share with it. That this is in reality the something behind this decision.
Do you find anyone interested? Because I talked to all of them and they still stick to the investment plans.
Yeah, but therefore this is not something that we must do this. We said that we can, but obviously, as you said, that we can build ourselves without any problems.
So if you don't find a buyer, you go ahead with the full project? Yeah. Okay. And if you can take me through this EBITDA uplift between now and 2015, how are you going to increase it, and what will be around the impact of higher CO2 by 2015, or the higher CO2 cost?
In reality, based on our estimation and regarding the CO2 increase, the costs, and from other side the efficiency program, it will have the positive. Together we will have the positive results when we are looking to both parts. That the efficiency program in 2015 will cover fully with some surplus the additional cost of the CO2, which we expect. And obviously this is the question, if the CO2 will cost 10, 15 or 30. Yeah? If 30, probably not fully. But in this case, the obvious is that the energy prices will increase as well, which we see in the German market, that some increase or decrease of the CO2 had very significant impact to the European prices and Polish prices as well. That from this perspective, we will see some increase of our EBITDA of the operational. Additionally, it should be built by renewables part, which we would like to develop till 2015, and probably some eventual acquisition, the same maybe in renewables. We will try to do this as much as possible in Poland, and we will see.
So of the 10 billion annual EBITDA, how much is the current sustainable business? How much is the new acquisitions?
I don't remember fully, but I think that it is something over 8 billion. This is our business, current business, and something below 2 billion. This is the new businesses. As I remember, that this is.
But there will be mainly acquisitions, not organic growth. So, regarding renewables, your plan, you have a quite aggressive plans. Do you assume that you just go and buy some assets, or you assume you will develop a pipeline and will develop it yourself?
In reality, roughly half to half. When we are talking about this 1 gigawatt in renewables onshore, roughly 400 to between 400 to 500 should be built by us, and between 500 to 600 we will buy. 100 we've just did it. That probably close to 500 we will need to buy additional.
Can we please go back to this issue regarding your realized power prices? This 205, what was the base load at the time, and going into 2013, if the market stays as it is at 211, what will be the realized? So I'm trying to catch the incremental delta of how much price effect should I expect next year?
In reality, when we are trying to consider what should be the level of prices, in our opinion, it should be close to 220. When we are talking about the coverage of the increase of the CO2 costs and some inflation, and therefore this 211-12 is slightly less than we expected, but from other side, this is covering one of these issues, yeah? Or inflation or CO2. The question who would like to calculate what this increase. That in our opinion the price should slightly go up, but it will depend on the some imports, which probably in the second half of the year should be lower than at the beginning, mostly from north. And additionally, the question about some maintenance stoppages in the production parts, which we expect in our part, but the same we know that it will be some stoppage in other producers.
And can you say for the whole year, for 2012, what is your realized price for the whole year? Not for the first quarter, we know it, but and if you can compare it with 2011, so what is the price effect you will notice this year in your P&L?
We mentioned in our the guidelines for this year that this price is roughly on the level which we've achieved in the first quarter.
One more question. Yesterday we met with Enea. They had a conference call. They said that they can buy in the market power at cheaper cost than the cost of production, and therefore they stop Kozienice production. I can only think of lignite generation that can produce cheaper than Kozienice in the Polish system. Does it mean, can you confirm, or how you position your plants in the system, that there are times at which you sell to Enea or to whoever power price at below the marginal cost of production from hard coal power plant?
I think that probably Opole is slightly better than Kozienice from this perspective, and this is the answer for your first question a little bit, because this moment the prices which are on the market, on spot market, they are below the marginal costs of, I think, all of the Polish producers, maybe not just us, not because of lignite, because 180, 190, which we see today, and we saw in March as well, this is the below marginal costs of, in reality, all hard coal producers.
And how do you get to this level? Because, well, I can buy coal at 12 zloty per gigajoule, and I can buy CO2 at €7 at 420. That gives me roughly 180 zloty, marginal cost 10 zloty, and I get 190, which is exactly the market.
This is, as you said, as we calculated, roughly this marginal costs, they are roughly 190. Yeah, this is the value, but it was the March and April when it was 180. Therefore, I said that it is absolutely below. Therefore, some of them they are closing the same. We decrease the production in our Szczecin in Zedo. And just work for operator.
If we agree that power prices, that the marginal cost of production is 190, does it mean a downside for next year power prices in Poland? Because the clean dark spread is extremely high, that it's never been that high before.
I think that the question is about the coverage on other costs as well. But if you are in a short period, you can work just on the marginal costs. Yeah. In long period, you can't, because you don't have the possibility to cover the fixed costs. Therefore, in long period, we can't say about such costs. But mostly, in my opinion, it will depend on the CO2 prices, and what is maybe not the easiest understanding, but the slightly higher cost of CO2 probably could be better for everybody.
Yeah, we know.
But not everybody. I know that you know, but not everybody understands it.
So to follow up this question from Fred Barazi of Goldman Sachs, do you agree with CEO of Tauron, who said last week that the price of carbon is discouraging investment and €15 carbon floor should be imposed?
I can confirm that this is slightly too low value of CO2 this moment which we have on the market. But if the floor should be 15 or 13 or 20, I think that is difficult to say today.
One more question. Could you confirm what was the load factor of the new unit in Bełchatów during the first quarter?
The unit generated 1.44 terawatt-hours of electricity.
I think that it was close to 80%, as I remember.
So you expect that it will be sustainable over the next quarters?
Probably during second quarter, probably yes. In third quarter, we are planning some job, but we don't know still this moment in which month and for how long.
And now two questions from Philip Gottschalk of Exane. Has your outlook for 2012 changed after this result with respect especially to coal prices, volumes of generation and distribution? And second, to what extent growth in distribution is extrapolable for the full year?
I think that this is difficult to say if we can change our prediction. Probably in production after first Q, we can say that probably this increase could be slightly higher than our expectation at the beginning of the year. And regarding distribution, I think that it will depend on the macro situation, which is unpredictable. But I think that the same, the distribution could be slightly in volume slightly higher than we expected.
Just a few follow-up questions from me, if nobody has any other questions. Are you also part of this shale gas consortium? Are you going to be part of this shale gas consortium with PGE? You're going to put capex? And if yes, what are the amounts, potential amounts?
We have the letter of intent with PGE, and about the consortium that we will see how it will develop. And we have roughly close to 500 million in the nearest years in our strategy.
And what are the expected returns on this? Or are you going to, as I understand, stick to the financial investor position, or are you going to take a bit more active role?
Regarding the return, we are comparing to our investment. It means that it is in our strategy higher than our internal cost of capital.
And just unrelated question, can you tell us throughout your whole group what's the level of employees per capacity ratio and how low this can really get to once you start going with a staff reduction more aggressively?
I think at this moment, maybe we can send you this information by the power plants, because this is absolutely different in power plants, and the same some expectation, but just maybe what I remember this moment, that when we build this new two blocks in Opole, that we will jump to the first quartile in the employees to 4 megawatts in Opole. That this we will be in the first league in this case when we build this new 2 units, because we are expecting not so big increase of the employment. In other we have slightly between 10 to 20% more than we should have when we are comparing to the other similar companies from the second border, the German border. But this is something different in the organization, yeah, that we have the maintenance inside, they have outside, that it's not so easy comparison. We need to compare apple with apples. But after this is close to 20% higher employment that it needs to be.
And I remember there was idea from PGE in the past that you would buy assets internationally. Is it still the case? And if yes, which areas you are most interested? Will it be regulated assets or generation assets, and why?
I think that we have still such possibility, and we are considering such possibility. From other side, as we mentioned, that the external investments need to give us the better IRR than in Poland, because of some, as we can say, political risk, bigger than here. And we verified, and we are verifying some of the such investment, but still the return is comparable to Poland. With this which we verified, and therefore today we can't say if we have something on the table, and we will looking around if something very interesting. We are from other side. We are looking opportunities. If we find, we can go. And in which part? I think that the renewables and cogeneration. This is two businesses. Regarding the distribution, I think that, in our opinion, is a little bit too big political risk. But the same is in the renewables. Therefore, we need to achieve better IRR than in Poland.
Okay, thank you very much.
And as I see no more questions, just few more seconds and the last call for questions from the distant viewers, and maybe last chance for you here.
Your lignite units, are they running at full capacity in second quarter?
I think that almost. We can't say that it was 100% usage, but I think that it was over 90% possible usage.
Are they running at the ratio comparable to quarter one?
Sorry, once again?
are those units running at load factor comparable to this one in Q1?
This moment, yes, and later on we have some maintenance jobs in some blocks which we mentioned, for example, this 8. But yes, they are running roughly the same.
Unit 8 will be modernized starting from June. Okay, if there are no more questions, thank you very much for coming, asking questions, and see you in 3 months.
Thank you very much.